Welcome back, duelists, to the channel. I hope you guys have been dealt an amazing hand this fine day. Today, we're going to be covering every single card in the upcoming set of the TCG Maze of Memories set, which is going to feature collector rares and reprints and retrains of beloved cards from the series, and even, I believe, some anime cards. We got Gate Guardian support, stuff like that. If you're like me, you've seen people like TGS Anime, Team APS, and several others open boxes already, do some early openings, and see the cards that they pull. And if you haven't, and you just check out my videos, I love you, by the way, feel free to just watch this whole video so you can get a glimpse of every single card that we're going to expect. And after we cover all 67 cards, we're going to break down exactly what rarities they come in so you guys can take a look and see what you can pull. Like, who knows, your favorite card could be a collector rare. But we're going to start with Blackluster Soldier, Legendary Swordsman. You can ritual summon this card with Chaos Form or Super Soldier Ritual, and it must be ritual summoned. During your draw phase, instead of conducting your normal draw, you can reveal this card in your hand. You can add one ritual spell from your deck to your hand. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects during your battle phase. Honestly, kind of good. Kind of prevents quick play spells and like monster effects you can activate during damage calc. Useless at this point. When this attacking card that was ritual summoned using a normal monster destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can shuffle all cards they control into the deck. So, kind of good, my thought on it. I'd run it. Next one is Duel Academy. It's a field spell. This card gains these effects based on the monster types on the field. If it's a warrior, beast, or pyro, once per turn if you activate a trap card, except during the damage step, all of these will have that except during the damage step condition, you can target one card your opponent controls and destroy it. If it's a Dino, Sea Serpent, or Thunder, once per turn if you activate a spell card, except during the damage step, you can inflict 1k damage to your opponent. And finally, if it's a Machine, Fairy, or Fiend, once per turn if you activate a monster effect, except during the damage step, you can target one face-up monster you control. It gains 1k attack, even if that card, Duel Academy, leaves the field. Probably run a one-of in case you want to do like some spicy plays, or if your deck's missing anything. Moving right along, we have Axel Synchro Stardust Dragon. If this card is Synchro Summoned, you can special summon one level 2 or lower tuner from your graveyard. During the main phase, which is a quick effect by the way, you can tribute this card, special summon one Stardust Dragon from your extra deck, and this is treated as a Synchro Summon, so that's kind of really good. Then immediately after the effect resolves, Synchro Summon using monsters you control as material. This turn, the monster Synchro Summoned by this effect is unaffected by your opponent's activate effect, so think of it like an IP link away. You can only use each effect of Axel Synchro Stardust Dragon once per turn. Up next, we have number 39, Utopia Rising. If this card is special summoned, you can target one number Xyz monster in your graveyard, except number 39, Utopia Rising. Special summon it in defense position, then you can attach all of this card's material to it. If you Xyz summon, you can special summon this card from your graveyard, but banish it when it leaves the field. You can only use each effect of number 39 Utopia Rising once per turn. I was thinking of like something along the lines of it's a late game, someone outs your Zeus, and you manage to get Utopia Rising on the field with two materials, right? So it would be special summoned with an Xyz summon, because that counts as a special summon. You target Zeus, Zeus comes in defense position, then you attach the materials from this card over to Zeus. So you now have, again, a two material Zeus. Up next, we have Firewall Dragon Dark Fluid Neo Tempest Terahertz. Requires 3+ cyber monsters, as it is a Link 5. Negate any opponent's monster effect activated during the battle phase. Okay, cool, that's a quick effect. You can send one Cyberse monster from your deck or extra deck to the graveyard, and if you do, this card is also treated as the sent monster's attribute. It also gains 2500 attack. You can only use the effect of Firewall's Dragon Dark Fluid Neo Tempest Terahertz once per turn. This card can make a number of attacks on monsters each battle phase up to the number of its attributes. So that just means that it gains 2500 attack and it can attack 2 times. And if you do it again next turn, there's no text here that says it doesn't stack. So I would assume it stacks. Anyone could tell me different in the comment section. I'd love clarification on that, but to me it just seems like it stacks. Up next, we have Gate Guardian. That's right, this is going to be a set where Gate Guardian and Gate Guardian support will be coming into play. So we all know Gate Guardian. It can't be normal summoned or set. Must first be special summoned from your hand by tributing one Sanga, Kazejin, and Suijin. Moving right along, we have Psy Beast. When this card is normal summoned, you can remove from play one psychic type monster from your deck. This card's level becomes the level of that monster. That could be good in some decks. I'm not entirely certain what you would do with it, but I'm sure people would do something with it. I mean, psychic, so I'm assuming that would go with the Punk engine, and if you run Psy-frames mainly, but I'm thinking more so Punk than Psy-frame. Wind-Up Kitten. We do not have a picture for this, but I'll just throw one up there in its place. You can target one monster your opponent controls, return that target to the hand. This effect can only be used once while this card is face up on the field. Initially, I know people play Wind-Up Kitten in Master Duel for their Sprite engine. All I had to do is just look over to the right here, and I see Sprite. Melfi Sprite. Okay, you lost me there. Photon Orbital. During your main phase, you can target one Photon or Galaxy monster you control. Equip this monster from your hand or field to that target. It gains 500 attack. Also, it cannot be destroyed by battle. You can send this equipped card to the graveyard. Add one Photon or Galaxy monster from your deck to your hand, except Photon Orbital. You can only use this effect of Photon Orbital once per turn. Here's the one I've been waiting for. One of them, actually. Guardian Chimera. I was lucky enough to get one in Battle of Chaos, but this was way before I built my branded deck, or even my Bestial branded, which will come to fruition soon. I initially sold off my Guardian Chimera, and I really wish I didn't, but it doesn't matter. It's coming back in Maze of Memories, and I'm very, very happy for that. But must first be fusion summoned using only fusion materials from your hand or field with at least one monster from each. If this card is fusion summoned by a spell card or effect, you can draw cards equal to the number of cards used as materials from the hand. And if you do, destroy cards your opponent controls equal to the number of cards used as material from the field. You can only use this effect of Guardian Chimera once per turn. While Polymerization is in your graveyard, your opponent cannot target this card with card effects. Baronne de Fleur, Baronne de Fleur. Once per turn, you can target one card on the field, destroy it once while face up on the field. When a card or effect is activated, you can negate the activation. If you do, destroy the card. The Omni Negate herself. She's getting a reprint from Synchro Storm, which was arguably one of the worst sets out there aside from Duels from the Deep. That's just my personal opinion, but I feel that they are the worst. Baronne de Fleur was the only sought-after card in there. Even the Ghost Rare in Synchro Storm wasn't really sought after. It was always the Omni Negate, and she's going to come back in Maze of Memories. I'm very excited for that. Next is Teardrop the Rika Queen. 2 level 8 monsters. You can detach one material from this card, then target one monster on the field, tribute it. This is a quick effect. If this card has a plant monster as material, you can only use this effect of Teardrop the Rika Queen once per turn. Each time a monster is tributed, this card gains 200 attack for each until the end of this turn. Not bad. I don't know how to play Rikas, but sounds very dangerous, and this is one of the boss monsters, if I can remember correctly. Speaking of boss monsters, we have Mech Knight Crusadia Avramax coming back in the Maze of Memories set. Oh dear God, I'm going to see more of you. While this card is link summoned on the field, your opponent cannot target this card with card effects. Also, their monsters cannot target monsters for attacks except for this one. And here's where the good effect comes in. Once per battle during damage calc, if this card battles a special summon monster, quick effect, you can make this card gain attack equal to that opponent monster's attack during the damage calculation only. My only way of truly outing this guy would be normal summon Stratos, get Honest Neos, and then beat him over the head while activating Honest Neos, because that should work. Because if this card battles a special summon monster, if this link summon card you control is sent to the graveyard by an opponent's card, you can shuffle one card on the field into the deck. Not even on your field, one card on the field. So if you out him, guess what? He gets to send someone else bye-bye. We have Spellbook of Fates. If you control a spellcaster type monster, you can banish up to 3 spellbook cards from your graveyard. Apply this effect. Depending on the number of spell cards banished for this card's activation, you can only activate 1 Spellbook of Fate per turn. I believe you banish 1, return 1 set or spell or trap card to the hand. 2. Change 1 monster on the field to face down defense position or face up attack position. 3. Banish 1 card your opponent controls. I don't play Spellbook. I'm not sure how good it is. I'm not entirely certain, but it's a quick play spell, so it could do some saucy stuff, I guess. The staples are back, baby! Solemn Judgment. When a monster would be summoned or a spell or trap card is activated, pay half your life points, negate the summon or activation, and if you do, destroy that card. I've got plenty of Solemn Strikes. Now I'm going to get my staple Solemn Judgments to where they're either going to be in the main deck or the side deck. I don't know yet, but staples are staples. The card I am extremely excited about, but I'm also at the same time upset, and I will get into why I'm going to be upset later in the video. Wake up your Elemental Hero. 1 Elemental Hero fusion monster plus 1 plus warrior monsters. So you could do one E-Hero Fusion monster, and however many warrior monsters you want to do. Miracle Fusion, about to go crazy with this thing. Must be fusion summoned and cannot be special summoned by other ways. This card gains 300 attack for each fusion material used for its fusion summon, and can attack each battle phase up to the number of fusion monsters used as fusion material for its fusion summon. That's a lot of fusion in there. At the start of the damage step, if this card battles a monster, destroy that monster, and if you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to its original attack. That's not even a once per turn. If this fusion summon card is destroyed, you can special summon one warrior monster from your hand or deck. That's quite good. You know, let me know what you guys think. I'm dwelling on this way too long. I'm starting to think of like having Sunrise on the field. If this thing counts as a hero monster, literally attack with him, use his own effect, attack again, use Sunrise, and then you have 3 attacks still. Like you have this guy's 2 attacks because the targets are gone because relay happens. I don't know. Let me know down in the comment section down below. This is too wild. Too wild. Moving on from that beautiful card, we got Rika Glamour, which is when you activate this card, you can also tribute 1 plant monster, add 1 Rika monster from your deck to your hand. Then if you tributed a monster, when you activate this card, add 1 plant monster with the same original level as the Rika monster, but a different name, from your deck to your hand. You can only activate 1 Rika Glamour per turn, and it's a reprint in an ultra rare, instead of it being a secret rare from Secret Slayer. So that's pretty good, actually. It makes it more accessible. Up next, we have Labyrinth Heavy Tank, which this will debut in Maze of Memories. You can normal summon this card without tributing, cannot attack the turn it is normal summoned. During your main phase, you can place one of your Sangha of the Thunder, Kazejin, or Suijin that is banished or in the hand or deck face up in your spell and trap zone as a continuous spell. Then if you control a Labyrinth Wall card, you can destroy 1 monster your opponent controls. You can only use this effect of Labyrinth Heavy Tank once per turn. Not too bad in my opinion. Like once you get the whole like Gate Guardian support in a deck, I want to see this do well. Like we have people making decks for this. Like it might be a solid deck, honestly. When I get the cards and we go through them, we'll then go like talk. When I do my opening, we'll talk a bit more about that. Gate Guardian combined, Sangha of the Thunder plus Kazejin plus Suijin, so this is a completed form of Gate Guardian. Must be special summoned from your extra deck by banishing the above cards from your hand, field, or graveyard. When your opponent activates a card or effect that targets a card you control, which, by the way, this is a quick effect, you can negate that effect, and if you do, destroy that card. So pretty much that would be that targets a card you control. Well, targets the clear word right there. So if your opponent uses a card that specifically states target, this guy can negate it. And if I remember correctly, it's essentially a triple Omni negate, but only on cards that target. Anyway, you can activate 3 times per turn. If this face-up special summon card in its owner's control leaves the field because of an opponent's card, so if it's banished, if it's sent to the graveyard, I don't think it applies being sent back to the extra deck, because that was a problem when they had to change that around. So I'm pretty sure if it just leaves the field to either graveyard or banished. You can special summon 1 level 11 or lower Gate Guardian monster from your deck or extra deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. Moving on to Gate Guardian of Thunder and Wind, requiring Sangha of the Thunder and Kazejin. Must be special summoned from your extra deck by banishing the above cards you control. During your main phase, you can add 1 spell or trap card from your deck to your hand that mentions Sangha, Kazejin, and Suijin. You can only use this effect of Gate Guardian of Thunder and Wind once per turn if this face-up special summon card in its owner's control leaves the field by an effect by an opponent's card. You can special summon one of your banished Sangha or Kazejin because it qualifies for the 2 of them. Moving on to Gate Guardian of Wind and Water, requiring Kazejin and Suijin. Must be special summoned from the extra deck by banishing the above cards you control. Once per chain, when your opponent activates a spell or trap card or an effect on the field. Once per chain. When your opponent activates a spell or trap card or effect on the field, quick effect, you can negate the effect. You can only use this effect of Gate Guardian of Wind and Water twice per turn. Like, see, that's fine. That is cool. Like the restriction is field. You could find ways around that, but that's kind of good. I could be out of the meta, but that's kind of good. Card, yep, same effect. You can special summon one of your banished Kazejin or Suijin. Into the next one, Gate Guardian of Water and Thunder. Must be special summoned from your extra deck by banishing the above cards you control. Which is either Suijin and Sangha. Once per chain, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls, change its attack to 0 until the end of this turn. You can only use this effect of Gate Guardian of Water and Thunder twice per turn, and again, a once per chain. If this face-up special summon card in its owner's control leaves the field because of an opponent's card, you can special summon one of your banished Suijin or Sangha. Honestly, I'm looking at this and thinking of once per chain. I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. So once they start a new chain, they have to. Your opponent's gonna be like, oh crap, that effect is live again, isn't it? And they have to remember what they're playing against. Moving on to the spell card, Evolution Result Burst. You cannot special summon monsters for the rest of this turn after this card resolves, except with spell effects. Also, add one Overload Fusion from your deck to your hand. Also, the maximum number of attacks per battle phase this turn of any monsters you fusion summon using 6 or more materials with Overload Fusion. This turn is equal to the number of materials used for its summon. You can only activate one Evolution Result Burst per turn. So, let me get this straight. Say you activate Overload Fusion. The maximum number of attacks per battle phase this turn of any monster you fusion summon using 6 or more materials with Overload Fusion. This turn is equal to the number of materials used for its summon. So you could like raise the maximum number of attacks to like 8 if you really wanted to. Like that's just, your opponent's gonna die at that point. So it's a Cyber Dragon cards for Cyber Dragon support for your Overload Fusion, whatever have you for those combos. And yeah, have fun with that what you will. Next card is Ready Set Duel, which is turbo dueling in that card art right there. Shout out to my boys at 5Ds. When this card resolves, if you control no other cards, you can add one Synchron monster from your deck to your hand. Once per turn during your standby phase, place one signal counter on this card. You can remove 2 signal counters from your field and send this face-up card to the graveyard, draw 2 cards, then send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard. You can only activate one Ready Set Duel per turn. Okay, so it's like a Shard of Greed, but mainly for Synchron, maybe for Synchro decks. But the drawback is you're going to plus on 2 cards, but then send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard, so you better pray that you have something with a graveyard effect or something you don't really need. It's a dead card in your hand. Next, we have Overlay Network, which is Xyz support. During your main phase, you can activate one of these effects. Target one face-up monster you control that has a level. Special summon one monster with the same level from your hand or graveyard in defense position. Its effects are negated, but you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of this turn except Xyz monsters. You can only use this effect of Overlay Network once per turn, or the other effect, target one Xyz monster you control, add 1 card attached to it to that card owner's hand. Okay, so you can basically rip out a material, put it back to your hand if you really need to, you know, as like an extension. I don't know why, but you know, who knows? I'm seeing people like for Sue Ship, Shark. Oh, I see it. I see it now. We have Super Ancient Deep Sea King Coelacanth. Oh, let's just say Coelacanth. Once per turn, you can discard 1 card, special summon as many level 4 or lower fish monsters as possible from your deck, but they cannot declare an attack and their effects are negated. During either player's turn, when this face-up card on the field is targeted by a card effect, you can tribute 1 other fish-type monster, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. So is this like a main deck totally awesome? This face-up card on the field is well, it has to be again targeted by a card effect, so it's potentially an Omni Negate, but based on being targeted again. It's only if it's on the field, right? Because that's once per turn you can discard 1 card, special summon. Yeah, this has to be on, like, when it's summoned. Or when it's been summoned, you can activate its effect on the field. So, I don't know if that's really good. I don't know. I don't play water. I don't play fish. But let me know. We have Alcy, the Sylvan High Protector. 2 level 8 monsters. Once per turn, you can declare 1 card name, excavate the top card of your deck, and if it is the declared card, add it to your hand. Otherwise, send it to the graveyard. If a card is sent from your deck to the graveyard by a card effect, except during the damage step, you can detach 1 Xyz material from this card, then target 1 card on the field. Place that target on either the top or bottom of the deck. Okay? You can only use the effect of Alcy the Sylvan High Protector once per turn. So, practically, you could, if a card is sent from your deck to the graveyard by a card effect, so if you call it wrong, a card would go to the graveyard, and then you could just use its second effect, right? Is that what I'm reading? because it didn't say except by its own effect. It's a bounce, and it's also a way for you to get, say, if you stacked a card, for you to get that specific card and combo off or extend. Not bad. We're going back to the Gate Guardian Labyrinth stuff with Shadow Ghoul of the Labyrinth. You can discard this card, add 1 Labyrinth Wall card from your deck to your hand. Okay, so effect from hand. At the start of the damage step, if your opponent's monster battles while you control a Labyrinth Wall card, you can banish this card from your graveyard, destroy that opponent's monster. Ooh, that doesn't even say target or anything, that's just destroy. You can only use each effect of Shadow Ghoul of the Labyrinth once per turn. Not bad. Hand effect, graveyard effect. Moving on to Labyrinth Wall Shadow. Monsters cannot attack the turn they are summoned except monsters whose original level is 5 or higher. Once per turn during your main phase, you can place 1 of your Sanga of the Thunder, Kazejin, or Suijin that is banished or in your hand or deck face up in your spell and trap zone as a continuous spell. At the start of your opponent's battle phase, you can target 1 monster your opponent controls with less than 1600 attack, destroy it. Not bad. Double attack, Wind and Thunder. If you control a Gate Guardian monster, target 1 card on the field, destroy it. That's a quick play too. Okay. You can banish this card from your graveyard or add 1 of your Sanga, Kazejin, or Suijin that is banished or in your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect of double attack, Wind, and Thunder once per turn. We have Ryoku Guardian. If your life points are lower than your opponent's, target 1 monster you control with Gate Guardian in its original name, which is practically anything in this deck, half your opponent's life points. Jesus. Then that monster gains attack equal to your opponent's life points. Oh my goodness. You can banish this card from the graveyard, add 1 of your Sanga of the Thunder, Kazejin, or Suijin that is banished or in your deck to your hand. You can only use each of the effect of Ryoku Guardian once per turn. You know I'm down. Alright, on to a trap from their deck. Prey of the Jirai Gumo. Special summon this card as a normal monster, Insect Earth, level 5, attack 2100, defense 1k. To your main monster zone in its same column, this card is also still a trap. So, could still be destroyed, just like if it was targeted to destroy, like if it was back row, Feather Duster, it wouldn't be safe because it would still be a trap. At least if I'm reading that correctly. And then when you do all that, you can destroy 1 monster your opponent controls in this card's column. Oh, okay. You're gonna have to try and game your opponent here. You can banish this card from your graveyard, add 1 of your Sanga of the Thunder, Kazejin, or Suijin that is banished or in your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect of Prey of the Jirai Gumo once per turn. I'm pretty sure Thunder and Wind allows you to search a spell and trap, or spell or trap, so Prey of the Jirai Gumo can be pulled. We got Red Eyes support, baby, let's see it. This card's name becomes Red Eyes Black Dragon while face up on the field or in the graveyard. Very good for it to be in the graveyard as well. If your opponent special summons a monster, you can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard. Special summon 1 Red Eyes monster from your hand or deck, except Red Eyes Soul. Whoa. You're saying I can get Red Eyes Darkness Metal? You're saying I can get Red Eyes Darkness Dragon from my deck? Because that's a Red Eyes monster. So that's a hand effect, and it has Red Eyes mentioned. It becomes Red Eyes in grave and field. Alright, this one. You can only use this effect of Red Eyes Soul once per turn. The quick effect, you can target 1 Red Eyes Black Dragon in your monster zone, inflict damage to your opponent equal to its original attack. You can only use this effect of Red Eyes Soul once per turn. We've got Time to Stand Up. If a Dragon Synchro monster is on the field, special summon up to 2 monsters that are Resonator monsters and /or level 1 Dragon monsters from your deck. When a monster effect is activated while you control a level 10 or higher Dark Dragon Synchro monster, you can banish this card from your graveyard, negate that effect, and if you do, 1 Synchro monster you control gains 2k attack until the end of the next turn. Okay. You can only use each effect of Time to Stand Up once per turn. Okay, we're almost done. I appreciate you guys sticking through this whole video right now. Like and subscribe if you definitely are liking the content of me breaking down every card in the set. This is the first time I'm going to be doing it, so I might do it for all the sets coming out in probably like a quicker fashion as we get confirmation of all the cards in the set. Yeah, makes sense? Makes sense. This creepy little punk. This card is always used as an Infernity card. I'm assuming that's a card out of someone in the anime that used Infernity monsters. Escapes me, but you guys will know. Special summon 1 of your Infernity monsters that is banished or in your hand or graveyard. If a face-up Infernity monster or monsters you control is destroyed by battle or leaves the field because of an opponent's card effect, while this card is in your graveyard, you can set this card. Okay. For a nice little recycle. You can only use each effect of this creepy little punk once per turn, so it's basically a recycle. Moving along, we have Barian Untopia. This card is always treated as a Barian's card. So Barian might be like a new or archetype. Oh, it's an archetype. Well, Barians is like a spell and trap heavy focused archetype I've learned. Number monsters you control with a number between 100 and 107 in their names, as well as CXC's monsters and number C monsters you control cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. And your opponent cannot target them with card effects. God, that's a field spell? Jesus. Alright. Once per turn, if you special summon an Xyz monster with a rank up magic spell effect, you can target that Xyz monster and one monster your opponent controls. Attach that opponent's monster to that Xyz monster's material. Okay. The rule of thumb here, I'm side decking Cosmic Cyclone, Lightning Storms, any back row removal, and like banishing. I'm getting you. The second you hit the field, I'm getting you out. I'm getting you out. You ain't taking my monster. Moving right along, we have Dragon King's Myth. Target one dragon monster you control, double its current attack until the end of this turn. That's a quick play spell, by the way. If your opponent controls a dragon monster, the targeted monster's effect activations cannot be negated this turn. Okay. During your main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard. Special summon in defense position one of your Dragon Xyz monsters that is banished or in the graveyard. You can only use one Dragon King's Myth effect per turn and only once that turn. I know a card my buddy Nish will be very happy about. Performapal Duelist Extraordinaire. It's got a lot of card text, so bear with me. Its Pendulum effect. Once per turn at the start of the damage step, if a monster battles a monster, so pretty much if an attack is declared on a monster, period, you can return this card to the hand, and if you do, banish one spell from your deck. For that battle, your monster cannot be destroyed. Also, the battle damage you take is halved. Ooh, okay, interesting. A nice bounce. Get it out of the pendulum, back to your hand. But this one's where it gets kind of spicy. When this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can add one Supreme King Dragon monster, one Supreme King Gate monster, or one Soul of the Supreme King from your deck to your hand. Once per turn during the standby phase, activate this effect. Each player can banish one spell from their deck. Once per turn, when a monster declares an attack, activate this effect. The attacked player can apply the following effect. Add one of your... There it is. I answered it within the same card. Add one of your banished spells to your hand, then discard it, and if you do, negate the attack. So basically, now you're just going to get this spell card from your banished to your graveyard, and then if it has a graveyard effect because it was sent, oh boy. Moving right along, we have Wonders of Nature. Special summon, I mean, it's not going to have that name, I don't think, because in some early prints of this set, we actually just had a different name for it. The name escapes me, but I'll throw it on screen because I know TGS Anime pulled this card. Special summon one level 4 or lower fairy, spellcaster, winged beast, or beast warrior monster from your hand, and if you do, equip it with this card. Then you can return all dragon monsters on the field to the hand. Oh, I don't like that. During the end phase, if this card is in your graveyard because it was sent there while it was face up in the spell or trap zone this turn, you can add one polymerization spell, one fusion spell, or one fusion parasite from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect of Wonders of Nature once per turn. Yikes, I don't like that dragon bounce. Then we have Battle Royal Mode Joining. Activate this card by targeting one effect monster on the field. The first 2 times that target will be destroyed by battle each turn. It is not destroyed. When that target is destroyed by battle, the player that destroyed it gains 2,000 life points. If the turn's player opponent takes battle damage or effect damage, then you can apply this effect. Special summon one level 4 or lower monster from your hand or deck, and if you do, you lose 2,000 life points. God, now we have Soul of the Supreme King. People have been running this in Master Duel left and right for me. It reads, pay half your life points, special summon one Supreme King Zark from your extra deck, ignoring its summoning conditions, but negates its effects. It is returned to the extra deck during the end phase of the next turn. When your opponent activates a spell card or effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard, and one Supreme King Zark from your face-up monster zone. Special summon up to one each Pendulum Dragon, Xyz Dragon, Synchro Dragon, Fusion Dragon monsters from your extra deck, or from your hand, deck, extra deck, or graveyard. Yikes. I would probably run this maybe in a side if I'm using branded, because guess what? Fusion Dragon, I could probably run Xyz Dragons and Synchro Dragons. That's just this card is just a free way of getting it out there, period. Kind of good. And it ignores their summoning conditions, so Yeah, this is one of the new cards. Angel of Blue Tears. Target one face-up monster on the field. Its controller's opponent takes battle damage equal to the number of cards in their hand times 200, so another burn one. Then negate that target's effect until the end of this turn. If effect damage is inflicted, except during the damage step, you can banish this card from your graveyard. Set one normal trap directly from your hand or deck. If set from the hand, it can be activated this turn. You can only use one Angel of Blue Tears effect per turn, and only once that turn. Trickstar is gonna have a field day with this one. Forge a New Future. Once per chain, if a Link 4 monster is Link summoned, you can place one counter on this card, maximum 3. Then you can apply the following effect based on the number of counters on it. 1. Declare one card name, and if you do, the activated effects and effects on the field of cards with the original name are negated this turn. Okay, that's kind of good for one counter, I'm not gonna lie. 2. Special summon one level 4 or lower monster from your graveyard. Okay. And 3. Send this card to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon one Link 4 monster from your extra deck. You can only activate one Forge a New Future per turn. Not bad, not bad. That's pretty good. And we have the generic Labyrinth Wall up next with, no, it's just a rock normal one. So these walls form a labyrinth with no exit for enemies. We got Sanga of the Thunder. During damage calc in your opponent's turn, if this card is being attacked, you can target the attacking monster. Make that target's attack 0 during damage calculation only. This is a quick effect. This effect can only be used once while this card is face up on the field. Kazejin. During damage calc in your opponent's turn, if this card is being attacked, you can target and make that attack 0. So I think they all do the same effect. So Kazejin, Suijin, and Sanga all do the same effect. Blackwing, Kalut the Moon Shadow. During either player's damage step, when a Blackwing monster you control is attacking or being attacked, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard. That monster gains 1400 attack until the end of this turn. Not bad. Nice little hand effect to have. And we have Blackwing Elfin the Raven. If you control a Blackwing monster, you can normal summon this card without tributing. When this card is normal summoned, you can target one monster your opponent controls, change that target's battle position. I like it. I like it. 9 out of 10 times you would probably have a Blackwing monster without a Blackwing monster on the field. Therefore, you want to tribute this thing, and so it's just bam, run it. Up next is Blackwing Zephyros the Elite. If this card is in your graveyard, you can return one face-up card you control to the hand. Special summon this card, and if you do, take 400 damage. A small price to pay. We have Nimble Angler, another level 2. That's coming in a reprint. If this card is sent from the hand or deck to the graveyard, you can special summon up to 2 level 3 or lower Nimble monsters from the deck, except Nimble Angler, so like Nimble Beaver or something like that. I'm pretty sure it's Nimble Beaver. Now we have Mech Knight Blue Sky. If 2 or more cards in the same column, you can special summon this card, as Mech Knights do. Special summon Mech Knight Blue Sky once per turn this way. If this card is normal or special summon from the hand, you can add one Mech Knight monster with different names, except Mech Knight Blue Sky, from your deck to hand, equal to the number of an opponent's card in the card's column. You can only use this effect of Mech Knight Blue Skies once per turn. I may sound very surprised by these effects, and I face Mech Knights in Master Duel. I just don't read. Up next is Mech Knight Yellow Star. If 2 or more cards are in the same column, similar Mech Knight effect. Let's read its other effect. You can banish one Mech Knight monster from your graveyard, then target one spell or trap in this card's column, destroy it. Now we have Mech Knight Red Moon. Special summoning conditions are the same. You can banish one Mech Knight monster from your graveyard, then target one face-up monster in this card's column, destroy it. So we have Rika Petal. During your main phase, you can take one Rika monster from your deck, except Rika Petal, and either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard. If you're Rika players, you know exactly what to do with this card. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of this turn except plant monsters. During your opponent's end phase, while this card is in your graveyard, if you control no monsters or all monsters you control are plant monsters, you can special summon this card. You can only use each effect of Rika Petal once per turn. Mudan the Rika Fairy. You can tribute one plant monster, special summon this card from your hand. If this card is normal summoned or special summoned by the effect of a plant monster, you can add one Rika spell or trap from your hand to your deck. Wow. If this card is normal summoned or special summoned by the effect of a plant monster, you can add one Rika spell or trap from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect of Mudan the Rika Fairy once per turn. Ancient Fairy Dragon. I'm pretty sure this is after the errata, so here we go. Once per turn, you can special summon one level 4 or lower monster from your hand. You cannot conduct your battle phase the turn you activate this effect. Once per turn, you can destroy as many field spells on the field as possible, and if you do, gain 1000 LP. Then you can add one field spell from your deck to your hand. Cost down. Discard one card for the rest of this turn. Reduce the levels of all monsters in your hand by 2, even after they are summoned. Here's the boy, Overload Fusion. Fusion summon one Dark Machine monster from your extra deck by banishing fusion materials listed on it from your field or graveyard. Court of Justice. Once per turn, you can special summon one fairy type monster from your hand. You must control a face-up level 1 fairy type monster to activate and resolve this effect. You can only activate the effect of one Court of Justice per turn. And now we have one of the ritual spell cards to get out the Blackluster Soldier retrain. Super Soldier Ritual. This card can be used to ritual summon any Blackluster Soldier ritual monster. You must also tribute monsters from your hand or field whose total levels exactly equal 8. During your main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card, one light and one dark from your graveyard, special summon one Blackluster Soldier ritual monster from your hand, ignoring its summoning conditions. You can only use this effect of Super Soldier Ritual once per turn. So essentially, you could get him back out. You could just get him back out, because it's like, oh, must be, but if you have cards that say ignoring its summoning conditions, you can get him out. And then we got the classic Chaos form. If you guys have played Blue Eyes Chaos Max or any form of a Chaos monster, you know Chaos form. This card can be used to ritual summon any Chaos or Blackluster Soldier ritual monster. You must also tribute from your hand or field and / or banish Blue Eyes White Dragon or Dark Magician from the graveyard, whose total levels equal exactly the level of the Chaos or Blackluster Soldier ritual monster you ritual summon. We've got Royal Decree coming back in Maze of Memories. Happy to see it, happy to see it. Negate all of their trap effects on the field. So, trap tricks, I know you love your traps, but you gotta watch out for Royal Decree, you know? Then we have Imperial Iron Wall. Neither player can banish cards. Treacherous Trap Hole. If you have no trap cards in your graveyard, target 2 monsters on the field. Destroy those targets. Self-explanatory. And finally, we have Deep Dark Trap Hole. When a level 5 or higher effect monster or monsters is special summoned, banish that level 5 or higher effect monster or monsters. Alright, so now that we've gone through every single card, all 67 in the set release, let's go back and see what the rarities are. So starting at the bottom, you guys are going to have your rares here. So like you have Deep Dark Trap Hole, Treacherous Trap Hole, Iron Wall, Royal Decree, Chaos Form, Super Soldier, Court of Justice, Burial, Overload Fusion, Cost Down, AFD, Mudan, Rika Petal, Photon Orbital, Mech Knight, Red Moon, Yellow Star, Blue Sky, Nimble Angler, Zephyros the Elite, Elfin the Raven, Kalut the Moonshadow, Gate Guardian, Suijin, Kazujin, Sanga, Labyrinth Wall, Forge a New Future, Angel of Blue Tears, Gasol the Supreme King, Battle Royal Mode, Wonders of Nature, Perform a Pal, Duelist Extraordinaire, Dragon King's Myth, Varian Untopia, Creepy Little Punk, Time to Stand Up, Red Eye Soul, Prayer the Jirai Gumo, Ryuoki Guardian, Double Attack, Wind and Thunder, Labyrinth Wall Shadow, and Shadow Ghoul of the Labyrinth. Whew, that was a bit of a long-winded thing. Now we're going to move on to our super rares, which are actually, I'm glad we have Solemn Judgment as a super rare, because you'll see what else it is, and I think you guys can probably take a wild guess on it. It's a very sought-after staple, so it's going to have a pretty high rarity in this set as well. So for our super rares, we have Solemn Judgment, Spellbook of Fate, Mech Knight Crusader Avramax, Alcei the Sylvian High Protector, Psy Beast, Super Ancient Deep Sea King Polinkanth, number 39 Utopia Rising, Overlay Network, Ready Set Duel, Evolution Result Burst, Gate Guardian of Wind and Thunder, Gate Guardian of Wind and Water, Gate Guardian of Thunder and Wind, Gate Guardian combined. Now we're going to move on to the Ultra Rares. The Ultra Rares consist of Rika Glamour, Teardrop the Rika Queen, Baron de Fleur, Guardian Chimera, Wind Up Kitten, Firewall Dragon, Dark Fluid, Neo Tempest, Terahertz, Axel Synchro to Stardust Dragon, Wake Up Your Elemental Hero, Duel Academy, and Blackluster Soldier, Legendary Swordsman. What do you guys think? Like, just comment down below if you haven't seen this set yet. What do you think the collector rares are? Pause the video and then come back to it. Did you put your answer in the comment section? I'll be looking. It's part of the exam. So, if you guys have said any of these 15 right here, you were correct. We got Blackluster Soldier, Legendary Swordsman. We got Duel Academy, Axel Synchro, Stardust Dragon, Utopia Rising, Firewall Dragon, Dark Fluid, Neo Tempest, Terahertz, Gate Guardian, Psy Beast, Wind Up Kitten, Photon Orbital, Guardian Chimera, Baron de Fleur, Teardrop the Rika Queen, Avramax, Spellbook of Fate, and Solemn Judgment. This is where I'm going to get into my one gripe with this set right here, okay? Why is Wake Up Your Elemental Hero not a collector's rare? I feel offended and personally attacked for this. Just kidding, but I wish it got a collector rare. I'm very happy Guardian Chimera, Baron de Fleur both got Ultra and Collector, and Solemn Judgment got a Super of all things with a collector rare print. I just wish Wake Up Your E-Hero got a collector rare as well. But, yeah. That's always fun. But, I mean, I can't be too mad. It's an ultra rare, and I'm getting a booster box on the 8th. When this video goes live, I'll have my booster box soon enough. And then on the 10th, when it goes live to the public, I'll have my unboxing video for you guys so we can go through the cards IRL and we can discuss on what I think of the box set. And a few days after, I'm going to be getting my case delivery from Big 3 Deals. If you guys haven't heard of them, check them out. You get free shipping on every order. I'm not promoted by them, but I just thought it was a very good deal. And when I get that case, we're going to be opening all 12 booster boxes, all 288 packs live on my YouTube channel. So make sure to be subscribed and be there when the time comes. I'm going to have a thumbnail and it's going to be ready and waiting. So I cannot wait to bring that to you guys, where we're all just going to chill and I'm going to be opening packs and you guys are going to be seeing what the crazy pulls are. And who knows, I also have a shop as well. So if I pull some good stuff that I'm personally not going to be running, but you guys need, I'm going to put it in my shop, very competitive rates, and you guys can acquire them for yourselves. But thank you guys so much for watching. I feel personally that with this set, I want to see what Gate Guardian can do. I want to see what it can do. I've read the things. They seem like they're pretty good. Not meta breaking, but also not complete garbage. It's like in the middle, you know? It's like, it's rogue. It's rogue, pretty much. So let me know what you guys think. Do you guys agree with the reprints? Do you guys agree with the retrains and the new cards? What do you think they could do to make this set better? Or what would you like to see in future sets? Let me know down in the comment section down below. I'll be eagerly awaiting your guys' reply. Either way, I've been Rev. Have an awesome day. Respect your fellow duelists and have a great one.